I got one more question.
Go ahead.
The federal people did a sting operation against NASA not too long ago. Is that anything to do with leaking information?
Oh, that's an interesting question. He's right. There was a sting.
This was in Houston and had to do with crank biomedical stuff being taken up on the shuttle with kickbacks and all that. I don't think it's related. This is, these archives are 30 years old. They've existed in various parts of the country for a long time. The interpretation is in Washington. It's not at the NASA field centers. NASA headquarters is at the root of this problem. If we're going to clean house, we've got to start at the top. Ask Golden to open the files. If he doesn't, get rid of him and get somebody in there that will live in adherence to the charter.
Hey, Richard, should there be a sting operation?
Well, it certainly would be interesting to see what you could find if you don't go in the front door.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have tried to be somewhat circumspect in asking through other sources for negatives. And what I've been impressed with is how many different versions of the same negative we get.
Well, should somebody like 60 Minutes get some photographs, go sit down with Golden in his office the way they always do, and sweat him with the photographs?
Absolutely. And we will do that ourselves eventually. Remember, this is the beginning of the process. We unveiled this after a year and a half at Ohio State. My colleagues, some of them have not yet actually seen the data. It's that brand new. But I wanted to come out on record with it so that if the archives are tampered with, there will be a way to trace it. We have Visa card numbers, order numbers, lab numbers. We have documented everything we got from NASA. What I find interesting is that our lab people here in New York were in Houston and tried to have a meeting with the head of the photographic lab to see the original negatives.
Yes.
And spent several days fruitlessly and has spent several weeks now playing telephone tag, unable to make contact with the head of the lab in Houston.
Right.
Which is absolutely absurd.
Richard, your scientific neck is out a mile on this one, so I presume that you've been very careful. And
I feel supremely confident.
You must. Did you think of this really hard before you said we're going to all put it on the line here?
Of course I did. Look. The data is there and it's so robust, and there's so much more we haven't had a chance to look at. I am strongly suspecting that the scale and scope of what is there is going to be so mind-boggling that if NASA had a wholesale book burning tomorrow, they couldn't get rid of all the evidence.